Welcome back. Today, just going to show a cool Python script I wrote for the trading simulator called CHARTGAME. So, run this thing, and then it's going to actually open CHARTGAME for me. I had to use, if anyone wants the code, they can comment. Oh man, APR, this is funny. I thought I was number one, but it looks like APR saw that I got to number one and went and passed me. So that's actually kind of awesome. So I guess we're in a battle because APR 73. I'm gonna try and pass you today. But anyway, yeah. The cool thing this does, so I pull up the terminal. I'm gonna try and make it so I can see the trading okay and this screen, but just watch how it works. So I really wanted to see how I did versus like buy and hold, for example. So there's like some problems with it, like something was wrong with the it wasn't calculating the scientific notation correctly here, so there's some bugs that I need to work on. But the main thing I wanted to see is like how my realized did versus buy and hold, which also actually has a problem that I'll have to disclaimer. I almost shorted that. Shouldn't have longed that. Take that loss. Get back in. Get wrecked. Take another loss. Realize that I'm making bad choices to try to beat APR 73. Not yet. Kind of wanted to short it. Oh, probably a bad short, but I'm gonna hold it. Times 5, maybe there. Maybe one more up day. There we go. Okay, so that's a little recovery. Boom, shakalaka. But you can see that this thing, it's recording how my realized is doing versus buy and hold. So I guess you guys can probably guess the flaw, which is if you just hold a position through to the end of the game, it's not going to give you an accurate number because it's not realized yet. There's programmatic ways to fix that. I just haven't gotten around to it. I felt that over a long period of time, that stuff would generally average out. Although that could be a bad assumption because if you think about it, you're least likely to want to take a loss. Like me, as you can see, I often just end up holding on to these like very bad positions. Became okay there, but I was pretty close to just taking the loss on that one. Probably honestly should have right here, but I didn't, even though I probably should have, just to follow my own process. So anyway, I just think it's pretty cool because it allows you to. I'm not sure what's wrong with this. I'm gonna have to figure out why the something's actually like really wrong. Yeah. Oh, it's probably because I don't think I defined tredecillion in my code. Let's check that. So let's pull up our code. Yeah, that's the issue. I don't actually have tredecillion defined. So I actually outgrew my own code. So this should fix it. We can actually just test it live. So T tredecillion, and it doesn't really matter to do this, but what the hell, we'll just, I'm like the least likely person to do things perfectly, but whatever, just because I'm on a video, I'm gonna try and look cool, do things the right way. Okay, so one key detail, it's not gonna save like the buy and hold percentage until you go to the next game. I admittedly don't like that design. I think that probably could have done better. But I think now that it's seen game 2, it should have saved that, so which we can check, realized. Hopefully I can pull my Finder up without needing to redo the whole video. Let's see. Chart game trades. Yeah, it's actually summaries here. I'll just get the enclosing folder. Okay. So let's see if we have it at the bottom of our long list. There it is. Yeah, and this is, it obviously just started getting recorded wrong once I got to tredecillion. So we can go ahead and fix that code. All you gotta do is, save your, look how, it's kind of nice how just quick this code is. I mean, it's not too much. Gets the job done. Allows you to record your own stats, which I really wanted to have an unrealized drawdown stat tracker, which this basically, I think it pretty much does, because it just records the cash at each point. It even records the cash by looking at the unrealized, which I admit is not being demonstrated very well right now because it's not working correctly. So we're going to fix it. So once you do Control C, that is going to terminate that instance, but then we can just get back to it. And I can't remember what I had to do, but I did something that allows it to save your login. So anyway, now it should work. So let's do an experiment. Let's see if it works now. Okay, so if we go to here, probably not a great long, but we're going to take it just to prove it works. So it initially didn't when cash was 0, but that was just the initial load, but now it looks like it is working. I have to take a loss there because I don't really like that. Not yet. Oh, I almost did it. I should have. Now I'm going to do it. Now I'm doing it. Just kind of looking for that little floor there. Didn't want to take it after we kind of got in this curving, humping down thing. Generally when you see really high volume on a capitulation day, it's kind of a good sign, but it's probably got lower to go first. I just feel like most of the time that's what happens. That is probably worth a long potentially because it squeezed up so much and then totally failed. Shows that there's someone willing to buy or someone got squeezed. I don't know. I'd still prefer a red day first, but I mean that's strong enough. I feel like I'm definitely gonna take one shot at this. I'm gonna hold that for a bar. I mean, getting really tiny profit here, but this is a bad chart. This is not. That's not very clear. That's not even. I mean, that was. I'm going to take a shot at just a little here, but really just want to, yeah, there we go. Now it's becoming more tradable once we get to new lows. Not going to take it yet, though. That's tempting to take. Still not going to do it yet just because it's a new low. You could probably short that. You could probably buy that. Not going to do it yet. I'll take a shot at that. That was a mistake. Take the loss. Take a shot. Take a loss. Take a shot. Gonna hold this one a little longer, maybe. Uh-oh. So you got huge volume there. That's why I'm still holding. And because I don't like taking losses. Which is not good because it's going to cost us mini tredecillion. 1 tredecillion now. I really should just take this loss. That was really bad. But now I'm getting long again because there's a small amount of strength. So I want to buy the falling knife. Okay, so that was a horrible game. Made basically the worst decisions possible there. Now I'm angry, so I'm obviously going to keep playing and just blindly hold this position. Anyway, this game's so much about psychology, so I'm going to try and recover live just because it's kind of fun to have the pressure. Should really, it's tempting to times 5 buy, but it's just irresponsible. I'm going to end up recording the whole video again. I really need to wait for a new low there. I'll take it there. That's close enough. Allows me to bail out of that. Just take a little. It's better to build back slow after you have like a total disaster in this game. It's tempting to ×5 short this, but it's always better to wait until it goes further than you think it is. Gonna gamble. Really just got to take the loss at that point. Once it's not going straight down, I don't like holding it too long. And we at least got some fake weak. I don't feel like I had a choice but to ×5 that. Yeah, I'm being a little risk on today. Not making the best choices. Probably shouldn't short that even though I want to. Shouldn't short that yet. It's consolidating. It's tempting to short, but there's just not really a reason, so that's why we didn't do it. Anyway, you can kind of just watch the terminal on the side. I know people probably don't really care to watch me play that much chart game, so I'm trying to keep it semi-brief. Pretty weak, just want to get out there. Well, that was one of our better decisions, because now we're destroying buy and hold at least. Do I just blindly buy that and hope for recovery? Probably not. It's tempting, but probably not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I just am not. I know it's going to go up, but I'm not yet ready. I mean, it's a lot of strength that it hasn't made a new low, but just want a better price. Fine, I'm going to take a shot at it. Regret. Alright, now I feel like we have no choice but to YOLO this thing. And we're rewarded for bad habits, but well-informed bad habits, like at least waiting until it's like been totally annihilated before we take our all-in bet. And like you notice, whenever I do these ×5 buys, like they're really stupid in some ways, but they're not that much of like my chart game capital base, since it's so easy to compound here. Like I basically take more risk than I ever would in real life, since you can compound so quickly here. That's kind of how I managed to get up to here. Because I think that your old games start to roll off eventually, so I kind of had to trade riskily to get to number 1. I don't know if that's still how it works actually, but in the past you only had like a certain number of games that could go into your percent return, so that's why I was a bit more aggressive. I'm honestly just trying to beat the guy who's number 1 at this point, or girl. APR 73, my nemesis. Oops, not looking good. This was a bad one to get caught in, particularly because there was not really, there's a lot of reasons for that to be bad. I don't like to get into situations where I'm hoping for a double bottom to work out. This was also dumb. I should have waited for it to come back down more. At this point, probably just say screw it and hold. Gonna get wrecked on this one. I'm gonna risk it there. Gonna regret it. Gonna take a massive loss. Basically back to where I started. Gonna YOLO it. Gonna regret it. Yeah, this sucks. So what happens when you try and do stuff to impress the camera. Start taking massive losses and don't care anymore. Go tilt. This is why I play this game. Deal with like how bad my emotions get during trading. So now I'm just gonna free flow and stop trying to talk through everything. So I'm just angry. But I'm gonna try and like kind of keep some focus with the anger. Like a little bit. Like try not to be unhopefully stupid. Because usually once I start losing on these, like once I like have a devastating loss like that, it's usually like I have like 90% drawdowns. I kid you not. Just in the game, like because I go through this psychological loop of just trading too much, like I just did there. So it's kind of fun to see if I can overcome that. And the real key thing for me to pay attention to is just like how big the volatility on the stock is, because that's really how you screw yourself, is you just take on too big a bet somewhere. Here, like, this isn't that big of a proportion of my capital, so I'm willing to take that ×5 bet. Want to get a little lower before there we go. Bail me out of that awful piece of crap. That was a dumb take because of the long tail. Should have waited for it to go lower, actually. I'm embarrassed that I had such a massive drawdown on the video, but I'm going to keep it. I really want to ×5 that. I'm going to, ooh, that hurt. Doing it. Because time is limited, and I can always spend days recovering, which will probably just make me better at trading anyway. This kind of like false, actually, because like that's a bad rationalization. Like, oh, I'm gonna improve my psychology by being stupid and then forcing myself to recover. So like I'm gonna train myself that we are stupid and then we have to recover. What would be better is like, let's be smart and recover the least amount of time possible, because most of the time things are going well. That might be better. This has been a very good game to us, but we don't want to get too cocky. Probably just going to take a loss there, because there was a lot of weakness. Gonna take our little discount entry that we're okay with. Gonna take a loss pretty soon on this one if we don't get there we go. I'm gonna hold, see how far we can push this thing. Okay, that's not good. Here's where I probably just need to just lose. I'm gonna take back in on that strength. Don't want to look for too, feel like I'm getting greedy. Feel like we're going on a downtrend. Can't quite feel this market. Let's see. Nope, downtrend. Game mercifully ends right as we're about to make horrible, horrible choices. See if we can do this thing. Then I'll show some more stuff at the very end, if anyone suffered through all my chart gaming. At least I included some live psychology examples of how the human brain like makes you much worse at trading with very bad, like, I don't know, my mind tells me things that are not helpful to trading very, very frequently. So I kind of have to have this like sanity checker that's like, wait, is this actually good for the long term, or is this just, you know, something like a lie that feels good now, or is this like a necessary feels good now? Because I think you can argue that sometimes, like, that at least for me, some of us need to feel good from our trading. We actually need certain aspects of the trading to help regulate our emotions, which is not ideal. Like, believe me, I don't think that's like a great thing, but know thyself. If you need a handicap of like, I have to trade this way because I'm limited by this ability that I do or don't have, I mean, it's just better to know yourself. Like, if it's sort of like the more accurately you can predict how you're going to handle losses in real time, the more accurately you can predict how you're going to actually, like, what you're actually capable of doing in real time. I keep making really stupid okay, and see, now I'm in trouble and I just want to average down to fix it, but I can't do that yet. I probably just can't do that here. I'm going to take a couple more, but I'm not going to. I'd rather average down long here. Yeah, there you go. That's how it's done, baby. That was the time for a ×5 buy. I mean, that was beautiful because you got this nice uptrend. You're coming into this 200-day, and then you get basically capitulation volume on this day where you know the tail had gone lower. You don't make a new low even with all that volume. I'm not that good of a trader, but that one was pretty clear. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. Let's see if we've made it back to number one. Yes, think I'll just play a little game with APR, and we'll just yeah, we'll just leave it close for them to come catch us, I guess. Um, okay, I actually have to play one more game just to. Oh God, gotta make one. Actually, I don't have to make one more trade. So this interesting thing is like now that I'm in the game, I'm like, well now I need to make a trade, but it's like, no, I got to number one. That was my goal for the day. I know this is no real money, but this is how like trading gets to you. It's like, I just needed to do that so we could get our code to work. So, yes, once I close this, this is game over, and now we can go to our summary. And I'll show you the two file, like what the summaries file does. I should have done this earlier, but to reward the people that endured the torture of, listening to me satiate my ego by making my comeback. Let me import this to Google Sheets because I'll be able to give you guys a far better. I'll be able to give a far better summary. Let me just pull this thing up. Let's hope it's not showing anything too crazy. Okay. Let's close that. Okay, welcome to my mind leaving mental training. I'll explain that at some point too, but okay, import. Great. Let's see. Okay. Da 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 da. Just doing this privately. Over here. Okay, open. And sure, import data as a new spreadsheet. Okay, in the meantime, I've already created this, well, here we go. I've already created this thing that allows us to, this is just a joke from Trailer Park Boys, TPB. Some of my friends sometimes, may or may not have called me Randy. I kind of like being anonymous. I don't think anyone's going to figure that out, so, but whatever. Let's see, chart game summaries. I need to pull up this from, sorry people, I know this is painfully disorganized. Okay, so, no, I don't need the summary. It's confusing, but I named the smaller file as summaries, and it includes like the buy and hold alone, because it's kind of nice just to have a column of just buy and hold. But I thought it was kind of interesting just to see how I do versus buy and hold. That was one of my main motivations for building all this. So now I can paste in this updated one, so it looks messed up unless you do Command-Shift-V. Nice little trick. Now I need to extend it, so let's just like see relatively how we did. Yeah, the first one was here because I remember those numbers. So this one, I mean, the simple way to do it is just to say like, how did I do? Oh, actually, my bad. It should be 270 because it's the one there versus, how do we do on the Randy? Am I doing something wrong? Sorry, hold on. Something's confusing here. This is why I came here, is actually so we can do the superior way to do this, which is to freeze that. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I created my own ratio thing that I wanted to look at for some reason. Okay, so that's how we did versus buy and hold. So we basically had stocks that did worse with buy and hold, which we can verify there. It's always just good to verify super simple stuff when you're doing weird things like this. We start here, yeah, we divide by this. Let's make sure we did it the same way here, yep. So we did, 1.8, so we beat, gosh, great, a random phone call. Basically we beat buy and hold, which we can also just look at and kind of see. But we had one game that was pretty horrible, right, where we lost 69%. Oops. But I guess overall we did better. Like we did much better here. Much better here, much better here. This hurts like a lot though. Like that was a really dumb game. I was not making good decisions. Probably why we lost 69%. But anyway, we got back to number one still because our wins were bigger than our losses, I guess, even with the 69% drawdown. Okay, that covers that. And the other thing I was going to show is just what this does. So freeze. I'll try and put some like timeline stuff maybe on the video so people can just skip to this part. Yeah, it just records buy and hold throughout time, and then it records the cash picture. So you can see when I started this, I was at 277 nonillion. This actually gets, never mind, it should be. This is weird. I wonder why this is wrong. Oh, yeah, actually, some of the stuff was not working until later in the log. My bad. So, like, my own log is not, it actually includes bugs, but the most recent ones, I'm praying, should just work. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, you can see that even though I asked for scientific notation, we'd have to do that manually, but I wonder if there is a way to just, like it does show scientific notation, but then the Excel kind of messes it up. Let's just see if there's a way to, I mean, there is, I'm sure, but, something's like wrong with the labels here. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, at some point I added, like you can see that this is part of the bug issue. My bad, this is actually not accurate because at some point I added an extra column, which is type. So you'll see that pops up around here. Then all of a sudden we start to look at if we were long or short. Okay. Not now, kitty cat. Cat's being kind of annoying. Shocker. Okay, so that's fixed. Let's just go to here, and I'm just going to try and fix basically most of it. Give me some science somewhere in here. Thank you. Don't need that cache. We already know that it's cache. All right, so yeah, here at least you can see that it's basically working as expected. It's live recording all the stuff as you go, which I think is pretty cool. So you basically could calculate your max drawdown, like true max drawdown, that it would include the unrealized. Yes, okay, Kat, I know that you're there. Yeah, you see how, like, even though this was an unrealized trade, it's actually still updating the cache with where it would be. And then here, once it becomes realized, it's basically the same. It won't always match perfectly because of rounding stuff, especially with such big numbers. But anyway, if you want the script, let me know. I admit that I'm being manipulative and doing an experiment, but I promise I will actually check the comments. But yeah, okay, so I'm, like, full disclosure, being manipulative and doing an experiment, and I feel like a bit of a hypocrite because I hate when people are like, let me know how you feel about in the comments down below. But, like, they usually don't really care what you feel, especially if they're a very big channel, right? Like, it's unlikely they spend, I mean, I could be wrong. This is where maybe I'm just like a hater and, like, I suck, and so I just think other people suck. But I just assume that most people don't really care and that they're really just doing it so their algorithm gets engaged or whatever, so that, their video is more popular. And so they're acting like they really want to hear your comments, but, like, do they even really care? I don't know. I just assume most people are pretty disingenuous with that stuff. So I guess I'll leave it at this. I'll be interested in your comment if it's actually interesting. If it is, I genuinely will try and like follow up as much as my lazy ass is capable. Don't expect much. And I'd also say that I'm being manipulative by not just putting the code on the page, which would be easy. And if a bunch of people say that that sucks in the future, I should just put it on the page. I mean, you guys, I actually promise that if anyone ever truly cares about this video, I'll put the freaking code up, and you won't have to look through the or jump through the hoop of making a comment. But I'm actually just curious to see what the success rate of doing something like that is. So thanks for participating in the experiment. If you want the script, I like feel less guilty because I at least feel like I'm transparent about my in advance manipulation. So yeah, sorry. All right. Anyway, happy chart gaming.